The reason your clients are cheap is because you're cheap. In this video, I'm going to show you how to stop attracting tire kickers, price shoppers, and champagne on a beer budget customers without lowering your prices or chasing more leads. So you can finally close premium jobs at full margin and feel like the professional your skills actually deserve. And I'm going to tell you something that most people won't. The reason your clients are cheap is because you're cheap. And I don't mean that as an insult, I mean it as a diagnosis. Let me explain. My name is Stash. I'm the founder of S&C Digital. I help contractors doing $500,000 to $1.5 million a year build systems that get them to $2 to $3 million and beyond, with better clients, margins, and a business that doesn't require 70-hour work weeks. I grew up under the hood of a car with my dad. I've poured concrete, done roofing, electrical framing. Our coaching system was designed by Kyle Hoffman, who built an $8 million a year roofing company. Our coach Mike, former contractor. We're not outsiders guessing, we've been in your boots. If you want premium clients who respect your pricing and a business that pays you what you're actually worth without the constant grind of tire kickers wasting your time, subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into it. Most contractors believe that their biggest problem is cheap customers, that people in their area just won't pay, that everyone's getting 3 quotes and going with the lowest one, that the market is full of price shoppers who want champagne on a beer budget, and that the only way to win jobs is to sharpen the pencil and be competitive. And I get it. Makes total sense, because that's what you see every day. Customers asking, what's your best price, before you even show up. People ghosting after the estimate. Losing jobs to some hack who underbid you $2,000 and will do a garbage job. It feels like the market is broken, right? But here's the problem with that belief. It's backwards. You don't have cheap clients because your market is cheap. You have cheap clients because how you show up. 1, you're positioning yourself as a commodity. You show up, you measure, you hand over a number, and then you leave. That's it. No presentation, no walkthrough, no framing of value, no explanation of why your price is what it is. You're giving the customer nothing to compare except for the number. And when the only thing that separates you from the next guy is the number, the cheapest number wins pretty much every time. You made yourself a commodity, not the customer. 2, you're discounting before anyone even asks. You knock $2,000 off a job before the customer says a word because you're scared they're going to say no. You sharpen the pencil to make sure you get it, but every time you cut your price without being asked, you're telling the customer your work isn't worth what you originally quoted, and they believe you. Then you wonder why they treat you like a line item instead of a professional. 3, you're running cheap marketing that attracts cheap people. You're on Angie competing with 10 other guys for the same tire kicker lead. You're running $500 off your next project ads. You're positioning yourself as the deal, the discount, the bargain, and then you're confused when the people calling you are only shopping on price. You trained them to shop on price. You led with price. What did you expect? This leads to thin margins, jobs you hate, and customers who don't respect you. It gives you the feeling that you're working harder than anyone you know for less than you deserve. Does that sound familiar? That's because this belief that your clients are the problem is keeping you stuck. The problem isn't your clients. The problem is the system that's attracting them. But there's a better way. The truth is, cheap clients are a symptom. They're not the disease. The disease is cheap positioning, cheap marketing, cheap sales process, and cheap investment in your own business. If you fix those 4 things, the tire kickers just magically disappear like they were never here in the first place. It's not because they stopped existing. It's because they stopped finding you. And the people who do find you now are going to be pre-sold, pre-qualified, and ready to pay premium for your prices. Your client quality is a mirror of your business quality. Change the mirror, you change the reflection. Let me prove it. Think about this for a second. How do you feel when a customer calls you and the very first thing out of their mouth is, what's your price? Do you think that's a good customer, or do you think that's a tire kicker? Yeah, you probably think that's a tire kicker. A price shopper, not serious. They're wasting your time. Now, when you watch this video or maybe hopped on with a call to learn more about growing your business, your first thought was, how much does it cost? Before understanding what the system does, how it works, or what it returns. What does that make you? You're doing the exact same thing you hate when customers do it to you. You're looking at a $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month investment and saying, that's too much, without looking at your return. We're not looking at the $50 or $100, $150,000 can bring you back. You're price shopping. You're tire kicking. You're judging based on the number and ignoring the value. That's exactly what your worst customers do to you. And here's the part that's going to stick with you. If you can't see value over price in your own business decisions, how are you going to get your customers to see value over price in theirs? You can't teach what you don't practice. You can't demand premium treatment from customers when you refuse to invest at a premium level yourself. Your cheapness is showing, and your customers can smell it. Kyle Hoffman built an $8 million a year roofing company. He designed the coaching system that our clients use. And here's what he says about pricing and positioning. The contractor who discounts to win the job trains his market so that his work is worth less. Do that long enough and the only people calling you are the people who want it cheap. You didn't build a bad market, you built a bad brand, and the brand starts with how you see yourself. Read that again. The brand starts with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as a guy who can't charge premium, you won't. If you see yourself as a guy who can't invest premium into your business, into your marketing, into your systems, into your crew, you won't. And your customers are going to treat you the same exact way. Here's the simplest way I can explain what's happening to you. There's two restaurants on the same street, same town, same customers driving by. Restaurant A has a flickering sign, no menu outside, the paint is peeling, and there's a banner that says lunch special $4.99. Who do you think walks in? People looking for $4.99 lunch. Price shoppers, right? Cheapos. They complain about the food, they leave bad tips, and they probably don't come back again unless there's another coupon. Restaurant B has a clean storefront, good lighting, a menu displayed with photos, and a sign that says locally sourced, chef prepared, reserve your table. Who walks in? People who want a good meal and are willing to pay for it. They don't ask, what's your cheapest dish? They ask, what do you recommend? Same street, same town, same people driving by, completely different customers walking through the door. The difference wasn't the market, it was the positioning. Restaurant A attracted cheap customers because it positioned itself as cheap. Restaurant B attracted premium customers because it positioned itself as premium. Right now, you're Restaurant A. You're running $500 off ads. You're on Angie's List, competing with 10 other guys. You show up, give a number, and you hope, you pray that they choose you. Your sign is flickering. And then you're mad that only $4.99 customers walk through the door. What we do is turn you into Restaurant B. Authority-based ads to position you as the premium choice. 7-ad retargeting system that eliminates every objection before the customer ever meets you. A sales process where you present value, not just a number. By the time the customer sits down with you, they're not price shopping. They already know you're the right choice. They're just waiting for you to tell them when you can start. Let me show you what being cheap actually costs you, because I doubt you've ever done the math. Let's say you run 20 estimates a month. Average job value is $10,000, and you're closing at only 15% because you show up, give a number, and hope. That's $30,000 a month. Now, let's say you knock $1,500 off every bid to make sure you get it. On those 3 jobs you close, that's $4,500 you gave away per month. That's $54,000 a year you handed to your customers for no reason. You didn't have to, they didn't ask. You just cut it because you were scared. They might go for someone else. Now, here's where it gets worse. Same 20 estimates, same $10,000 average. But now you have a real sales process, a premium estimate walkthrough, and you're closing at 35% instead of 15%. That's $70,000 a month. Same leads, same volume, $40,000 more per month because you stopped selling like a commodity and started selling like a professional. That's $480,000 more per year without a single additional lead. Look, you didn't have a lead problem there. You had a positioning problem. You had a sales problem. You had a pricing problem. And all 3 of those problems came from the same root. You were operating cheap, and cheap attracts cheap. Look, you already know this works because you see it in your own buying decisions. When you're looking at a subcontractor, do you want the cheapest guy? The one who gave you the lowest number with no explanation? Or do you want the one who showed up professional, explained his process, had references, and made you feel confident he'd do it right? If you pick the first option, you have some other questions to ask yourself. When you bought your truck, did you go to the cheapest lot or did you go to the place that felt right? Explain the warranty, walked you through the options, and made you feel like you're making a smart decision. Look, you're already paying premium when the value's clear. Everyone does. Your customers are exactly the same. They will pay more. They want to pay more. Because paying more makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like they're getting the best. Nobody lies awake at night worried they pay too much for quality. They lie awake because the cheap guy is going to ruin their house. But they can't choose you as the premium option if you don't show up as one. And right now you don't. You show up the same as everyone else. You measure, you number, you hope, and then you're surprised when they pick the cheapest option. You're not giving them a reason not to. Look, when I first started this business, I was a cheaper option too. I underpriced my services because I was afraid people would say no. I took on clients I shouldn't have. I gave discounts I didn't need to give. And you know what I got? The worst clients imaginable. The ones who complained about everything. They never did the work and left the second they found someone cheaper. The day I started pricing at what I was actually worth and positioning myself as premium, the client quality flipped overnight. Not because the market changed, because what we offered in our positioning changed. Ben at Austin Concrete Specialist was doing $1 million a year, but he was losing deals left and right because he had no sales process. He'd show up, measure, send an estimate 3 days later, and hope. Same as everybody else in the market. He was a commodity. His customers were price shopping him because he gave them nothing else to judge. We rebuilt his entire approach: sales audit, premium estimate walkthrough, on the spot bidding system where he presents 3 options with an iPad right there at the kitchen table. You know what happened? His close rate went through the roof. His exact words: that changed our close rate insanely. One single job started at a $60,000 bid and grew to almost $200,000. Why? Because the customer told him, "I was really impressed that you gave me 3 options on the spot." That customer didn't pick the cheapest option, they picked the most professional one. And they paid triple what the original scope was because they trusted him, they trusted Ben. Ben didn't find better customers by finding a better market. He got better customers by becoming a better salesperson. He stopped being cheap in how he presented and how he positioned and how he invested in his business. And the cheap customers vanished. Pasquale started a brand new business and did $900,000 in year 1. Tracy launched Two Brothers Remodeling and closed $450,000 in 60 days. Neither of them ran $500 off ads. Neither of them competed on price. They ran authority-based video campaigns that positioned them as the premium choice in their market. The leads that came in weren't price shopping, they were pre-sold because the marketing did the positioning work before the customer ever picked up the phone. That's the echo chamber at work. 7 retargeting ads that eliminate every objection. Trust, price fear, process fear, decision paralysis before the customer ever shows up for the estimate. By the time you walk in the door, you're not competing with the cheap guy, you're the only guy, because we already answered every reason they had to hesitate. Look, every marketing company out there pretty much runs the same playbook. Stock photos, $500 off, free grill with your deck. That's not marketing, you're just discounting. And it attracts the worst possible customers. Our authority-based ads speak to what homeowners actually care about: their fears, their pain points, their desire to get it done right. That's why our clients' leads aren't tire kickers. They're people who already want to hire you before they pick up the phone. The positioning happens before you ever show up. The data backs this up. The same contractor, same lead, same volume, going from a 15% close rate to 35% close rate, doubles revenue without a single extra ad dollar. Better closing, better positioning, better sales process. That's $480,000 more per year. No more leads needed, just a better mirror. So if you want premium clients who respect your pricing and a business that pays you what your work is actually worth without lowering your prices, chasing more leads, or competing with the cheapest guy in town, here's what to do next. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. I put out content every week specifically for contractors on how to stop being a commodity and start running a real business. If this video made you feel uncomfortable, good. There's more where that came from. Step 2, book a call with our team. The link's in the description. We'll look at your specific business, your market, your numbers, and show you exactly where you're leaking money and attracting the wrong clients. If we're a fit, we'll tell you. If we're not, we'll tell you that too. No pressure, no hard feelings, but we will tell you the truth, even if it stings a little. Step 3, ask yourself one question. If you hate when customers judge you on price alone without understanding the value of your work, are you willing to stop doing the exact same thing in your own business? Because every time you cut your price, you're telling the customer your work isn't worth it. And then you wonder why they treat you like a commodity. Every time you refuse to invest in real systems, real positioning, real sales training, you're telling the market you're just another guy with a truck and a number. And the market's going to treat you the same exact way. If you want better clients, become a better business. It starts with you.